Fastest growing GDP in the world. We can't have the slowest moving culture in the world. Well, my name is Saint Jhn. My mother and father are Guyanese. Grandmother is Guyanese, grandparents are Guyanese, all my uncles and cousins are Guyanese, and I was a part of maybe 3 people that were the first generation to be born in America and then grow up in Guyana. So I was born in Brooklyn and I kept coming back and forth for years, but in large chunks. I went to nursery school here, I went to primary school here, I went to secondary school here, and then I went on to make music. I actually started making music here. That's what's crazy. My music career started here. I've worked with some of the most influential musicians around the planet. If you got Google, you could do that. What motivated me to launch the Develop Home initiative? I think I should have been more active since around 2020 when I first came back for real. I came back to help my mom and I saw what was happening. But I didn't have the full bandwidth, the full team and the full structure to get as invested as I needed to. And I'm still developing parts of that. But I think I'm still early, but I wish I was earlier so that by the time you and I were having this conversation, I'd be like, look at these monuments we built. Look at these things that we've impacted. So far, we've put some small initiatives together. I remember when I came home in 2020 and I met with the First Lady, and part of the things that I campaign on, that are important to me, when I say campaign, that drive me, that really inspire me, that I go spend my time, I go outside, I do outreach for, things that don't make me any money, that I don't do for publicity. Those are things that are important to my heart. Things that affect children, orphanages, displacement. When I came back in 2020, the first thing I did is I went to a couple orphanages just so I could see the conditions, so I can get a real lay of the land. I can know what the future of Guyana is looking like and what's impacting them and how they can be helped. The infants, the toddlers, the preteens, early development, the ones that don't have a voice yet, that aren't loud enough to say we're impacted or underserved. And then I had a meeting with the First Lady and I talked about how we can do things to help them. So we talked about instituting something where some corporations would adopt orphanages as an idea, as a blanket way to cover expenses. That's the first thing we put in place. It took about 6 to 7 months to get done. There's the first real thing I got to do here, but I plan on doing a lot more. I came to learn where the problems are and see how I can plug holes in the way that I can, in a way that my influence could be useful and valuable. If I have the ears of all the most important and impactful people in the country and outside of the country, I plan to talk to them about things that are important, not just to me, but important to people who are like me, who are disenfranchised and were disenfranchised like me. So education, social, and health, they speak for themselves. They don't know us. You say, I'm Guyanese, and they think you're saying, I'm Ghanaian, I'm Ghanaian. It's not a big enough brand. It's not attractive enough to the rest of the world for us to get the type of income, the type of interest, the type of quality types of minds who will help develop this country, who will help give us insight into things that are already happening elsewhere. We don't want to be last. This is not the time to be last, especially when we have such a developing economy, especially when we have the opportunity for such incredible commerce. With the development of all the things that that are obviously happening here, the type of wealth that we found laying underneath our ground gives tremendous opportunity for us to get to a place where we can finally be the country we know we're supposed to be. Excited, attracting the right type of clientele, the right type of curious mind, the right type of investigative people, the right type of tourism, the right type of culture. Culture should be one of the easiest and cheapest exports because it's what we naturally do. It's who we naturally are. It's what we naturally sing. It's what we naturally wear. It's how we naturally live our lives. That should be a part of what's some of the most important things that we're developing so that the world can see us. We do have incredible examples of that happening around the world. We've seen it before. You've seen Rihanna do Barbados. You've seen her put it on the map in a way that you may not have been familiar before, but you're curious now. If you go from unfamiliar to curious, that's a hell of a leap. So we got a jump to make. So as many ambassadors as are possible. So I'll be one. I've unofficially been one. So at the point that I officially am one, I'm still waving the flag as high as I possibly can be. When you look around and you think of Jamaica and you think of their export, you think of their culture, how they've been able to put a billboard around the world in every continent, in every country, you know what they mean, you know what they represent, you know what to expect, at least at a minimal level. You have some inclination, some understanding, their identity, they're not invisible. It's time to stop being invisible, but not for the purpose of ego. It's time to stop being invisible. We deserve that. Look, I'm already unofficially an ambassador. I'm from here. This is where I spent my childhood. The first format of my identity formed here. The person I designed myself to be came from here, cultivated from this place. All the things that I know about myself, my taste, my interest, my curiosity, when my words slur a certain way, when my melodies curve a certain way, all of it came from here, from a Guyanese mom, a Guyanese aunt, a Guyanese grandmother, the way I walk in the room. So I think my responsibility is to come back here and pay tribute to that. But my role is to be an intermediary, right? I don't have to come up with every idea. That's not what you want me for. I'll use the brain that I have to execute as many large-scale ideas as I have, but you want me to be the resource to communicate the things on a loud level that can't be communicated or haven't been communicated. So what I plan on doing is being outside more, having lots more conversations, and doing the easy things that I know that can help. When I say easy, I mean I can do them right now. Because I want to see change. I want to see impactful things happen right now. I'm not that patient of a guy. I might pretend to be, but I want to see things happening. I want to see movement happening. So some of the early things that we're discussing and we've been discussing, we talked to the president yesterday, we talked about how tourism can be more impacted, cultural tourism, how we can drive more creatives here. Because the more people that we can bring here that create, the more opportunity we can create, the more creation that can happen. This can be a creator's economy. That could be really special. We have so much magic here. There's so much to display. There's some people make their lives, they invent their lives every day here. They just don't export it to anywhere else that they can make a dollar from or gain an interest from. So early phase, bringing more people like me, using my network to bring them here so that there's something exciting. We have to make this place exciting. As exciting as it is for us, it has to be that exciting for everywhere else.